Morning. This is call number 2021-53738 in the interest of Isabella Enriquez. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Angelica Enriquez, and I'm Isabella's mom.
All right, sir, your name and your relationship to the child.
Sorry?
Sir,
Oh,
your name and
Julio,
your relationship to the child.
Julio Rivera, the father.
All right, and representing the state of Texas.
Kavita Sharma for the state, Your Honor, and good morning.
Good morning. We've got a petition to establish parent-child relationship. We're having a hearing. Is that correct, Ms. Sharma?
Correct, Your Honor.
And so, do we have any stipulations?
We do.
Can we read those into the record, please?
Yes, Judge. And prior to that, I would like to ask the court to take judicial notice of the genetic test results that do not exclude Mr. Rivera as the father of Isabella Rivera. I'm sorry, Isabella Enriquez.
Oh, let's see. All right, the court will take notice that the alleged father, Julio Rivera, is not excluded as the biological father of the tested child, Isabella Enriquez, who is the child that's subject to the suit. Okay.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Stipulations. Parties agree to joint managing conservatorship, and Mr. Rivera is the father of the child and has a duty to support. Parties agree that mom will be the primary conservator to determine the child's residence with the geographical restrictions to Harris and contiguous counties. Parties agree in current child support, $903 a month, beginning March 1. Parties agree to back child support from July 14th, I believe, Judge. Hold on, let me see my handwriting. What date was the child born, Ms. Enriquez?
July 28th, 2019.
Retroactive child support, Judge, from July 28th, 2019 to today in the amount of $8,092, paid out at $91 a month beginning March 1 with 6% interest to the state. Current medical support, the mom agrees to continue the health insurance for the child. Reimbursement to the state at $202 a month. And any uncovered health costs will be the responsibility of both parents. And parties agree that court costs will be billed to Mr. Rivera. And those are the agreements that we have today, Judge. So at issue are visits and the last name of the child.
Okay, so far, are these your agreements, Ms. Enriquez?
I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear you.
So far, are these your agreements?
Well, yes, Your Honor, they are.
All right. Mr. Rivera, so far, are these your agreements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the only issues that I'm going to decide on is your visitation rights and the last name of the child. So let's proceed.
Yes, Judge, I would like to call Miss Angelica Enriquez.
All right.
Yes.
Miss Enriquez, how old is your child?
She is 2 years old, going 2 years old in 2 months, around there.
And does she primarily live with you?
Yeah, she lives with me primarily.
How often does she see her father?
She sees her father maybe once or twice a week.
And under what conditions does she see her father?
As in the terms and agreements that him and I have.
Correct.
Yeah, so we speak on the phone. He FaceTimes with her in the morning, and then he's like, "Can I see Isabella?" And then I'm like, "Okay, we can meet tomorrow, or can we meet this day at this time at this place?" And that's how we do it so far. That we agree on a time and a place to see each other, so he can see Isabella and spend time with her.
Does he have overnight visits with Isabella?
No, he does not.
And why not?
He does not have overnight visitations because he has an anger management problem, an alcohol problem, and he talks to me in a very bad way verbally, and it affects me emotionally and
And do
mentally.
you want, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. And do you want him to have visits with the child?
I do not want to prevent my daughter from seeing her dad, but I'm also concerned for the safety of her. That's why I meet up with him in public places, and I stop allowing him to come to my parents' house, but he shows up. He shows up to my parents' house whenever he wants to and stuff like that, or whenever he may have a above level of alcohol in his body.
And you would like these visits to be supervised, correct?
Yes.
Who would you
Yes.
like to supervise the visits with your daughter and her dad?
My father, Jose Enriquez.
And where would these visits take place?
I earlier I told you, Ms. Sharma, that I here at my parents' house,
Okay.
and if Julio would like to meet up with my dad at a public place, like I've done it before with him, we take her to the Houston Zoo, we take her to the aquarium, we take her to the Children's Museum. If he lets my dad know or let me know ahead of time, then we can arrange that. Or if we've met at the park, other places. It's not just my parents' house.
And how long do you think these supervised visits should continue for?
My daughter is in speech therapy because she doesn't speak properly. She doesn't really engage in speaking. So I would feel comfortable as long as my daughter can communicate. There's a point where my daughter would be able to communicate, "Hey, mom, I didn't feel right. This happened," or "Mommy, this, and that," or "I had a really good time with my dad." When she can communicate clearly with me, I would like that to continue until she's able to talk to me correct and I'm able to understand her.
Okay. And as far as the last name of your daughter, what is her last name currently?
Her last name right now is Enriquez.
And what would you like it to be going forward?
Isabella Ava Enriquez Rivera.
So you'd like to hyphenate it Enriquez Rivera?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I pass this witness.
Mr. Rivera, do you have any questions for Ms. Enriquez?
Yes, Your Honor. Basically, I understand what she says. Yes, but it's under her conditions. When she gets mad, she holds a grudge and she does not let me see my daughter.
Okay,
She
okay,
don't-
hold on.
I'm
gonna
sorry.
let you say something.
I'm sorry.
But right now, do you have any questions for Ms. Enriquez?
Oh, okay. No, I do not. Your
All
Honor.
right, Ms. Sharma, go ahead.
Judge, I'd like to call Julio Rivera.
Okay,
Mr. Rivera, you heard the testimony earlier. Are you opposed to supervised visits with your daughter?
I'm sorry.
Are you opposed to supervised visits with your daughter?
Yes.
And if you were to see your daughter and there were to be supervised, who would you like to supervise those visits?
One of my family members, either Mr. Rivera, which are mentioned,
And where would
and
you like these visits to take place?
my parents' house.
And that's in Harris County?
Correct.
And why do you think that's in the best interest of your child to have visits at your parents' house?
Because actually, I want my daughter to see her other side of the family. She hasn't seen my family. And that's the reason why I put myself on child support. I'm not using that as advantagement. I just want my daughter to see her cousins. I mean, if we have visitations over the weekend, and my family always go to my parents' house, get together, and have a good time. That's the reason why I want that.
And do you have any concerns with your ability to take care of your child if you have
No.
overnights with her?
No, they're not, because actually, I she did. She stayed with me when she was back in 2020. When they had, I mean, her family and them had COVID. She stayed overnight for 2 weeks with me. I was able to take care of her.
Okay. And do you have a request of what the last name of your child should be?
Yes,
What do you want the last name to be?
Isabella Eva Rivera Enriquez.
So you prefer the last name to be Rivera Enriquez hyphenated, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Judge. I also pass this witness.
Ms. Enriquez, do you have any questions for Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Julio.
Yes.
Judge, I think her screen is frozen temporarily.
We can take a break.
Okay, thank you, Judge. We'll step down and come back. I think there's probably someone else who needs to have a hearing.
Have I asked for to please tell your brothers or
Are you all right, Ms. Enriquez, or you want to take a break? Looks like she's frozen. Well, we'll have to take, Ms. Enriquez, are you all right to ask questions now?
yes? I couldn't hear anything. That's why.
All right, go ahead. You can ask Mr.
Julio,
Rivera questions.
thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Julio,
Mm-hmm.
previous times that we've met, have I asked you to tell your brothers or your parents to meet us as well so they can see Isabella?
No, because actually they have their own families. They can't just stop what they're doing and working. They work every single day, not like I do.
Now, the question was, sir, did she ever ask you to do that?
No, she did not.
Never suggested to you that.
No.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Enriquez.
Okay. Julio, when Bella was maybe around 3 to 4 months and she was born, I don't recall exactly the event, but you came over one Sunday and you saw Isabella and you're like, my parents, my brothers are having, I think, a barbecue at my parents' house, and you left to go be with them. Isn't that right?
I'm sorry, I didn't
So-
understand the question.
I see where you're going.
On a Sunday, he came to visit his daughter with us, and then he
Yes.
had an event going with his family on a Sunday. So instead of spending the rest of the afternoon with us, he decided to leave us and go with his family.
Okay. Is that
Isn't
right,
that right?
Mr. Rivera?
That isn't correct, because I asked her, "You want to come with me?" she has something against my family. Like I told her, my family wants to see my daughter. I mean,
At
they
that
like being around her. You
that
did
time,
not,
No, no, ma'am, no, you got to give him a chance to answer the question, okay?
you did not
okay.
let, you did not let my daughter come with me because I mean, I know you have something. I mean,
Well, okay, but you left.
yes, I went. I mean, I
Okay,
asked
all
her,
right, all
and I
right,
left.
all right.
Yes,
So the answer is yes. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Enriquez.
Okay.
Another
When
question?
we've met, thank you, Your Honor. When we've met, Julio, have you ever been under the influence of alcohol that you don't even recall what we talk about the previous, that's the day that we meet, and then we talk sometimes the next
Okay,
go
okay, wait,
on
wait, wait,
FaceTime?
wait. The question is, have you ever been under the influence of alcohol when you went to visit your child?
no,
Ms. Enriquez.
On July the 6th of 2019, before Isabella was born, we went out of town with my family, and we requested that you didn't drink or to not be in a bad mood. Did you or did you not have a seizure on the way back to Houston while I was driving, and we had to stay overnight at the hospital in Guadalupe Medical Center in Seguin, Texas?
I did, but I did not. I was not under influence
Do you recall why the doctor said that you had that seizure?
because I was drinking too much monsters.
And what was the other reason he stated that you had that seizure?
Because all they said was monsters. He didn't say nothing else.
Okay. If I recall correctly, and the documents are there at Guadalupe
Judge, I
Medical
would
Center.
object because we're getting into um, medical privacy, health information here, and I don't think that that would be appropriate
Overruled,
this
overruled,
questioning.
overruled. Go ahead, Ms.
Thank you.
Enriquez.
The doctor stated that his enzymes of his liver, because he had not had alcohol consumption in the last 2 days, so his body was having a withdrawal of alcohol.
Are you asking a question, Ms. Enriquez?
Oh, he said that he didn't recall the second reason why, and
It's a,
I'm asking him, do you
okay.
remember that?
Do you remember that, Mr. Rivera? That's what the doctor
Mm.
said?
No,
Any other questions, Ms. Enriquez?
Yes. Do you recall, Julio, that I had asked you, I went to go talk to you with your parents at your parents' house before Isabella was born. The reasons why I didn't want to continue with you in a relationship or anything like that. Do you recall that day that I went to go talk to you, your dad, and your mom at your parents' house?
yeah, I do recall.
And do you recall what I told them? That I didn't want to continue because you had an alcohol problem, and I didn't want to raise my daughter in an environment like that, in a home, in
No,
our family. That
no,
okay. Do you recall? Okay, I can't even ask that, because then the other question would be, when you do you recall when you first came to my parents' house, because Isabella was born already, that I asked you to sit down in order for you to be able to carry her, because you couldn't balance yourself of how much alcohol you had in your system?
I I will answer that question with another question
No, no, sir. You can,
because
you can, you
but
can, you can say something later on, but right now you just need to answer the question.
that's a no.
Okay.
That's a no. Okay. So if I was to provide a picture of you having to sit down carrying Isabella as a newborn, and you can tell that you've been drinking because your face is swollen up and all of that, you're still going to say no?
No, you could provide it, but I could respond with a different kind of reason. why my face was swollen. Your parents saw what happened inside me. I was hurt because I was not told that my daughter was born. I was crying. That's why my face was swollen. Your dad saw me down on my knees when they told me before the entry of the door that your daughter was born. You don't think that much bad hurt me inside? That's the reason my face was swollen. Your parents saw you. If they say no, then they're lying.
All right, sir. All right, you answered the question. Any other questions, Ms. Enriquez?
Yes. Julio, would you be willing to take random alcohol test or drugs test while having Isabella with these visitations that's going to happen? And are you willing also to have anger management classes taken for the best interest of Isabella?
If you wouldn't do the same,
Okay. I mean, I can get drug tested alcohol. I don't do any, but that's fine.
and say the rest what you said.
To get anger management classes too?
Correct.
Okay, but I'll be honest, I don't work. I don't have the funds to pay for that. I'm asking you because you verbally abuse me when we meet up
Okay,
with this.
ma'am,
As-
you're not asking questions anymore. Now you all are arguing with each other. This is not the time to argue with each other. This is question, answer, that's all.
Oh, okay. So Julio, would you be willing to take anger management classes and alcohol and drug tests?
If you're doing the same,
Okay.
it wasn't a yes or no.
I understand it wasn't a yes or no.
No arguing. Question, next question.
That would be all, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Rivera, does Ms. Enriquez have alcohol problems or anger management problems?
I'm not saying that either I or she
No,
has anything.
I'm asking you if, does she have alcohol problems?
No.
Does she have anger management problems?
Yes.
All right. Any other question, Ms. Enriquez?
Not at the moment, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sharma, any other witnesses?
No, sir.
Any further questions of any of these witnesses?
None from the state, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Enriquez, anything you want to say now?
Yes, Your Honor, I would. Your Honor, the request that I am putting, that I would like to be considered for my daughter's safety, for him to take anger management and alcohol drugs test is not for me, it's for the safety of my daughter. I don't have that trust where I can say, Julio, you can take Isabella with you. I trust you, because I don't, Your Honor. I know there's an alcohol problem, and that's why I left. And Your Honor, the reason why my dad called Julio to pick up Isabella when I had COVID is because I don't have other family member here. I have my sister, but she was infected with COVID too. And I had no other option because I didn't want to risk my daughter getting sick with COVID. So I had to do that because that was in the best interest for her.
You live at home with your parents, Ms. Enriquez? All right. Mr. Rivera, anything further you want to say?
Yes. Okay. I understand and respect, Your Honor, what she said, but every single word that she said is been the truth. Because when she was on the COVID, her dad did come to my parents' house. He was infected, and my parents were risking their lives as well while I took care of my daughter. When my daughter is sick, she doesn't tell me anything. And I always tell her, please let me know if anything she needs, if she's in sick, but she doesn't tell me anything. And I had to find out when I see her, and I see her in her face, like she has a runny nose, she has a fever, and I said, why didn't you tell me that so I could take her to the doctor? I'm not working right now. Let me just go. I'll go with you. And she didn't call me when my daughter was born. None of her family did. I showed up at the doctor's appointment her gynecologist appointment, and I texted her, hey, I went after work, say, you're running late, are you okay? And she called me, can you show up at my house? That's when I knew that my daughter was born, and it hurted me. So when I showed up at her parents' house, her mom and dad came out, and I started crying because they didn't tell me that my daughter was born. I wanted to see my daughter born, and she doesn't let me be with my daughter on Father's Day or my birthday, and that hurts me a lot. That's the reason why I put myself on child support, because I want to be able to enjoy that with my daughter. And I supported her in so many ways, and I hope she understands that. I've been there in every kind of way. When she was pregnant, we lost our first child. I was there in the hospital. Even her parents were mad that they didn't know that she was pregnant. But I mean, I was there the whole way, the whole time. And for her to treat me like that, her and her family treat me like that, like out of the circle, like, why would you do that? I don't want to bring religion inside, because actually I don't want to state that. But yes, they wanted me to be the way they wanted me to be. If not, they will not accept me. I can't be myself. And I feel uncomfortable when I'm around them. But when I'm around my daughter, I'm happy. Nothing on my phone. I don't pay attention to my phone, or she don't answer none of my calls, none of my texts, and I don't know anything about my daughter. She could go 2 weeks, 3 weeks without texting me or anything, and that's why I have to show up at the house so I can see my daughter. But I didn't want to put myself in child support. She thought that I was doing it because I was gonna take my daughter away from her. No, that was not never my intentions. It never is. I just want her to be with me. I was able to take care of my daughter for 2 weeks. I mean, and they were asking pictures. Her whole family was asking pictures, videos, FaceTime. Now, even though I was busy with my daughter, I was
Okay,
still
sir, you have
chasing.
about 1 more minute, okay?
Okay, yes, and I was chasing her around, taking pictures and sending to them, all of them, because I cared. And then when I ask pictures from her or videos, she don't say me anything. But that's it. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
All right, court, the court makes the following orders in the best interest of the child. Child's surname shall be henceforth be Rivera hyphenated Enriquez. Father shall have modified possession and access with 6 times each phase. Thereafter, standard possession order. Maternal grandfather to supervise in the first phase. Father ordered not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs 12 hours before or during visitation periods. All other stipulations are approved. Anything further, Ms. Sharma?
No, Judge, but just to confirm, you said supervised by maternal grandfather?
Correct.
Thank you, Judge. Nothing further from the state.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rivera, Ms. Enriquez, Mr. Rivera, I'll meet you guys back in the breakout rooms, okay?
Mhm.
Yes.
Wait, are we supposed to do something?
Yes, join the breakout rooms again, please.
How do I do that? How
Just
do I
leave.
join the?
You should be able
Uh,
to go back on your screen and click join the breakout room.
It doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't.
Someone will move you shortly.
case are we dealing with, Ms. Berard?
It's Gutierrez and Solis, Your Honor, the 2005 16867.
All right. All right, this is call number 2005-16867 in the interest of Giovanni Gutierrez. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Yes, I do.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Cynthia Solis, I'm the mother, Your Honor.
All right, sir, your name and your relationship to the child.
Jesus Gutierrez, I'm the father.
And for the state.
Andrea Perard.
And we have a suit for modification of support order, motion to confirm support rearage. What are we doing today?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that we are here in part on a contested reset. And the case is set for trial today. We previously reset the case based on Ms. Solis's request as she was scheduled for mediation. She is requesting an additional reset in order for the father to provide and complete discovery requests. However, she is requesting tax returns from the father, of which is my understanding the father has not filed taxes for the last couple of years. And therefore, we would need some kind of admonishment to the father as to documentation that needs to be provided by the next court date. If the court does grant the reset, the father is requesting to move forward on his case today.
Well, has the father produced any documents that were requested in the suit for modification?
I believe he's produced paycheck stubs. I may be incorrect, Your Honor, but I believe, but I think there's been some challenges as to whether the validity of those paycheck stubs or how many he's provided.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. So again, the modification was requested by the father. And again, the OAG did request tax returns for the last 2 years, which he has not produced. He's had plenty of time to produce. Again, I'm not opposed to the modification as long as he produces the proper documentation to show how much he's making and if the child support should be modified. At this point, as of today, the OAG nor myself are have these tax returns. Now he's claiming he has not filed tax returns, and this has been an ongoing issue for years. So I'm asking.
What was an ongoing issue for years, ma'am?
The tax returns, Your Honor.
That he didn't file them? Is that what has been the issue?
He claims he has not filed them, Your Honor. I don't know. I mean, if I have to subpoena the IRS for tax returns, I'm not sure if the OAG has access to see if he's actually being truthful about that or not. But he's only possibly produced his last 2 paycheck stubs, Your Honor, but his line of job fluctuates a lot. So his pay fluctuates, the companies he works for, etc. So I believe for it to be a fair modification, tax returns need to be produced as requested per the last document that the OAG filed, which was the petition, I believe, for the modification.
Can I speak, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Last year I did file modification because of I had probably like a good 4 or 5 months of not working because due to the pandemic. So 2019, yes, I did work pretty good. 2018, I worked okay. But as far as in 2021, for 4 or 5 months, I was off of work. So regardless, whenever I'm off of work, I still had to pay that high paid child support. And that's where I was trying to defend myself. I'm like, well, if I can't go back to work, how am I going to be able to pay my bills? Because
all right, when were you off of work in 2021?
In 2021, I worked January all the way to like mid-March, I believe. And then from May, June, July, August, and I believe the beginning of September or mid-September, I started working. So with those months, I was getting nothing but unemployment, and I believe I went to the office of the Attorney General to see if I could get a modification, and that was April or May. And so I asked the lady too, I go, so what happens if we reschedule, if they give me a court date and it takes about 6 to 7 months, which it did, because the court date was December 17th or December something. So it took a while. It took 6 months. And that's what I was worried about, because I'm like, well, look, I'm not trying to say that I'm going to be on unemployment for 12 months. I've been paying child support for the past 17 years. I mean, I even asked for the how much I've paid, and I think it's over $100,000. So it's not like I'm not going to pay it. I know I have back pay right now, and I am eventually going to pay it. But as far as everything, my son is 17 years old.
Well, okay,
birthday,
all right. Now so you've been working October, November, December, and January. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. With
Right.
different companies, because I do, like she said, I fluctuate from a pay rate to another pay rate. So that's kind of hard for me to, I mean, it is a process, but like I said, I work 4 weeks somewhere, and then next thing you know, they turn me over to work at another state for another 4 weeks.
All right. So
And
we need paycheck stubs from October, November, December, and January.
Okay. Do you need one or two? Do you need all of them?
Need all of them.
All of them. Okay. I did send January's, the whole month of January, which was 2022. I did send it to a customer
Okay. Did you
service.
understand what I said, sir? We need all of them.
Okay. October, November, December, and January.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. November, December, January. I could get into you probably tomorrow. I have to call all 4 companies and just tell them to give me the check stubs or stuff like that, because that's like a little bit of process. I have to call a Houston company and then a California company and then just tell them for November, December, January.
All right. We'll give.
I already have.
That's what's a couple of weeks, 3 weeks now. All right, the mother's request for continuance so that the father can produce his check stubs is granted, and this matter is reset to March 14th, 2022.
March 14, January, March 14, 2022. That's a month, 30 days from now.
Yes.
Okay, I could do that. So October to January. Okay, just check stubs, right? Do you want me to send them to customer service?
No, you can go ahead and talk to Ms. Perard after, I'm done making my orders, okay? Ms. Perard, you can instruct him as to what he needs to do, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.